every single minute, every single second. Afghanistan. That's all we're talking about is Afghanistan, Afghanistan, Afghanistan. How bad Biden has fucked up Afghanistan. And I'll admit Biden has fucked up Afghanistan. And he is not even aware of how badly he has fucked up Afghanistan. He has given one press conference after another in which he keeps going, it's not really a problem. Everything seems to be going pretty well. It's kind of exactly what we anticipated. I don't think that's the case. People are being trampled to death at the airport. The Taliban is running around flying our helicopters, shooting our guns, wearing our uniforms.
Wait a second, wearing our uniforms?
They're wearing American uniforms.
Come on. Is that real?
The Taliban, not only are they wearing American uniforms, they took a picture reenacting the raising of the American flag at Iwo Jima. If you've ever seen the raising, you know that. Have you ever seen the movie Iwo Jima? Ever seen the movie?
No.
It stars John Wayne. Holy shit! If you ever want to see a great movie, and you got to appreciate it for when it was made, first of all, because it's not a fucking, a Bourne Identity movie. It's not a Fast and Furious. It's probably made in I think the 50s or 60s.
Okay.
The original one is black and white. I think you can now get it in color. But if you ever want to see a movie that will stir your heart to patriotism as an American, that is the movie. And when I was in college, on the dorm I was on my sophomore year, we probably watched that movie 1,000 times and sat and just utter silence and reverence of Sands of Iwo Jima. So anyway, Sands of Iwo Jima, the end of the movie in Sands of Iwo Jima, they do the reenactment of the raising of the American flag to claim that area as American as part of the victory of the battle.
Right.
And the Taliban dressed up a bunch of guys in American uniforms.
Wow.
And they reenacted the scene
right there
with a Taliban flag and Taliban guys in Taliban clothes.
Oh, help.
Can you fucking believe that shit?
Can you believe that shit? I believe it.
That's fucking crazy.
That's trolling. Listen, that's trolling America in the most epic way to troll.
Because
that image is iconic for our country.
We have a statue of it.
Yeah.
There's a statue of it in D.C.
And they didn't tear it down. That's how iconic it is.
No, not only did they not tear it down, it's a fucking famous monument. I mean, we made it into a statue. It's a random guys. That's a real event that happened in America.
Yeah. I mean, it's
that
epic troll move.
Yeah, and they're doing it. That's very in your face. That's very fuck you. Look at us. So, this is our moment. And
this is just purely speculation. How do you think Trump would have reacted to that?
All right. I'm gonna try.
Let me amend that. How do you think he would react to it? Also, if he was not banned from all social media platforms.
Well, here's my issue with the whole thing. And I'm gonna try to avoid the traps. The traps are debating the difference between how Trump would handle it versus Biden, and that's what everybody's trying to say. The prediction, right. I watch Fox News. For anyone who's out there, I watch Fox News all day long, and literally anyone who watches Fox News can tell you what they're doing right now is they're bringing up one military veteran after another, and they are saying basically the first question they lob at them is, how much of a piece of shit is Joe Biden? And I get it. They've got, like I said, they got a bone, man. They are chewing on that bone. They are not letting it go. They're going to go after that with every bit of power that they have, and they are thrilled. It's almost to the point of being, I sit there and I'm like, man, are you rooting for the Taliban? But in terms of what would Trump do differently, I don't fucking know. I don't know what Trump would do. And to be honest with you, because he's not president, I don't really give a fuck what Trump would do. Here's the thing. We are Americans. This is the problem, the real problem. Our pathetic government and our pathetic Republican and Democrat leaders have gotten us to this point. They have dragged our country through 20 years in Afghanistan, long after any mission that we went there to accomplish was accomplished. We went there to get the guys who attacked us on 9/11. We killed them within minutes. It was easy to find them. The country's a giant rock filled with nothing but opium fields.
But I think that's why they said it was so hard to take over Afghanistan. It was so hard to remain control because the place is just.
There is no way to control it. There's no. First of all, let's be so that everybody knows the Taliban is not in control now. The Taliban will not be in control. They're going to, as soon as we leave, they're going to start fighting with each other the minute we leave. The minute we leave. First of all, they've already started. There's places in Afghanistan right now where people are already fighting back against the Taliban.
Yeah,
everything's going to shut off. The power's going to go out. Nobody's collecting trash. There's no.
I don't even think they really have. I mean, from everything you see, these towns don't really have power in.
No, they got
maybe
sure.
like the big ones, but
no,
the outskirts.
We built that shit, man. We built them power grids.
This is what
we built them schools.
Trump would say. Let me tell you what Trump would say. He said, "You want to reenact Iwo Jima? Cool. I'm gonna do this. Same." This would be Trump's response right here. Bombs away, motherfucker.
I mean, look, I'm not crediting. I'm not gonna find any way to praise Trump. Trump is as responsible for this debacle as Biden. They both have done a fucking. What Trump did was disgusting. And reluctantly, occasionally they'll bring in a level-headed person on Fox. They hate it when it happens, who will actually say, well, part of this is Trump's fault. And I'm not here to do that. I'm not here. And I don't really even give a shit about Biden anymore. Look, here's the thing, man. We're Americans. We're fucking Americans. We have Americans who are in trouble in a foreign country. We have a governmental leadership that is afraid to send our military, the strongest, most powerful military in the history of the world, out to get our fucking people. What in the fuck are you doing? We have 6,000 troops in that airport. Every other country in the world that has soldiers or citizens there is sending out patrols into Afghanistan and picking up their fucking citizens and escorting them back to the fucking airport and getting them the fuck out. And we're saying, make it to the airport. And motherfuckers are in their little homes or wherever the fuck they're living. And we're not talking about military people or we're talking about people that went there to teach people about Christianity. We're talking about people that went there to teach at schools. We're talking about people that went there to be nurses and doctors in remote hospitals in the middle of nowhere. We're not talking about bands of people that are like all sitting around. They're scattered all over the fucking place, and they're thousands of miles away from fucking Kabul. They can't just call an Uber and get a fucking Uber and go to Kabul.
Right.
There's no way to get there. There's no way for them to drive. They have no car. They're not going to get there by the 31st. And if they even tried to, they would be killed along the way. And they know that for a fact.
Yeah. I think the most powerful one I saw was Marcus Luttrell's interview. They interviewed him on, it was Fox News. Yeah. So they brought him up on here on Fox News. I need to have a click up here for this, but I can pop it up here so that people can see what I'm talking about. But, and they were saying that he said, hey, go get our people,
Go get them.
Go get
Go get 'em.
Get our people.
Go get our people out of there. Don't you dare leave a fucking American there. I don't give a shit. August 31st. Let me tell you what. Let me just tell you what whoever is in charge should say. Forget what Trump would do. Forget what Biden would do, because both of them already fucked this up. I remember when I saw this interview years ago with Bobby Knight after a game, and they were asking him all these questions about this and that. And this one guy tried to jump into the conversation, and Bobby Knight turned to him and he goes, "Look, you stay out of this fucking conversation. You're the one that fucked this up to begin with. We don't need you in this conversation."
Okay.
And that's how I feel towards both Biden and Trump. You are the ones who fucked this up. Both of you. I don't give a fuck what you have to say now. We're Americans. Americans, we got to come together. We got to get our fucking people out. We got to stop listening to these two motherfuckers. I don't give a shit. If you're in the fucking military right now, you got to fucking, you're in Afghanistan, you got to take matters into your own fucking hands. You got to go over there. You got to be sitting at that airport and you got to say, fuck, I'm not staying in this fucking airport and letting fucking Americans die. I'm going and fucking getting them. Whoever is in fucking charge in the airport, that's your world now. You're in charge of your world. Take those people and get Americans out of there. And you ain't going to go to jail. You ain't going to get in no trouble when you get back. You're going to be a fucking hero. You're not going to be in any trouble for disobeying shit. Everybody knows what has to happen. We're counting on you. We're all you have. You are all we have. You are all that we have behind, standing behind our word to never leave an American behind. We don't leave Americans behind. We don't leave dead Americans behind. We don't leave alive Americans behind. We don't leave Americans behind. You're an American and you go to war, we're bringing your ass back. That's a promise that we make. Yeah. And we're going to stand by that fucking promise. And don't you dare start loading up on those fucking planes until you know for a fucking fact that every goddamn American is out of that fucking country. Every fucking one of them. No matter what fucking Biden says. No matter what the fucking generals say. I don't want to hear that fucking shit. You save those fucking Americans. You save those fucking people that fought with us and helped us while we were there. Because the only reason we're still there is greed. Because these motherfuckers have been making money off the last 10 years off all these military fat-ass fucking contracts. Oh, they need a new school. Oh, they need a new power grid. Oh, they need internet service. Oh, they need a hospital. Oh, they need more choppers. Oh, they need more training. Oh, they need more fucking guns. And right. We have fucking made people rich as fuck off of Afghanistan. And now they're just going to abandon those fucking people over there. Fuck that shit. That's not what we fucking do. And I pray to God, I know this. I was in the Army. You get to the point when it's down to you and your squad members where you just look at each other and you say, we're going to go do this shit. We're going to go fucking do this shit. We don't need fucking permission to do what's right because we know what's right. And you all know what's right. And if they won't give you fucking permission to go outside that fucking fence, then you guys band together and you go out there on your fucking own and do it. And you ain't going to get in no fucking trouble. What court in the world is going to convict you when you tell them we were sitting there and we could hear them fucking shouting. We could hear their fucking calls. And we went and got them. And you come back and you ain't going to be fucking criminals. You're going to be fucking heroes. So do it. Do it. I don't give a shit what they're saying on fucking TV. Go out there and get those fucking Americans and bring them back.
Yeah. That was what that was the thing about like them interviewing Marcus Luttrell, because look, they brought in the full force of the military to go get that man, one man, and they wiped out SEALs. A lot of Navy SEALs died that day. And they went and got him, and he sat, watching him sit there and take that interview, says, you go get our people. There's no other objective. You go get every last one of them.
Yes.
You don't leave anyone there.
Right.
And you know the second that there is a little bit less of a presence there, the slaughter begins.
Oh, they're going to kill no fucking doubt. Which is exactly why.
People.
Which is exactly why it's critical that we get them all out while we have people there, and we don't fucking leave until we get them, because once we step foot, the last American steps foot out of that fucking place, everybody in that motherfucker is dead.
Yeah.
They're killing them all.
Yep.
Everybody. Men, women, children, and not in a pleasant way.
I would not be surprised to see them start killing Americans prior to the 30th, to the end of the month.
Well, here's what I hope. I hope that we have I pray that somebody in a leadership role, instead of saying what they're saying and listen to these motherfuckers, Taliban saying, well, you better be out by the 31st or there's going to be consequences. I hope there's somebody on our side in a leadership fucking role that turns to that motherfucker and says, hey, bitch, we're going to fucking get our people out. No matter how long it fucking takes. If it takes us until August 31st, then we'll leave on August 31st. If it takes us until September 30th, then we're going to stay there until September 30th. We're going to stay there until the last motherfucking American is brought out of there, or even the last person that we feel like taking with us.
Right.
And if you want to do something about it, step up, motherfucker. But when you step up, you better be fucking ready for what's coming your way, because we're going to bring everything we fucking have on your ass. And I hope that somebody fucking steps up and says that, because that's what needs to be said, instead of saying, well, you know, we're in touch with the Taliban.
Right.
We're talking to them.
I texted them.
And they're talking to us, and we saw their press conference.
I was on WhatsApp.
And they know how we feel, and we know how they feel.
We don't want no problems.
Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Lock and fucking load, motherfuckers. We got the baddest fucking military. You think you got our weapons? You think you got our weapons? I'll tell you what you don't have. You don't have our heart, motherfucker, because we're all fucking heart. That's what you find out about America. You can have our fucking weapons. You can have our fucking helicopters. Can you even fucking fly our fucking helicopters? I fucking doubt it. Can you even fucking operate our fucking weapons? I fucking doubt it. But if you want to try, give it your fucking best. Here comes America, bitch.
You see the video clip? It was an RPG guy. And over there in Afghanistan, I don't know if you probably haven't seen it. Let me see if I can find it. RPG, what was it called? Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find it. It's I'll tell you what, if we can find the video of it, I'm probably not gonna find it, man. This dude, I'm gonna give me like 10 seconds. If I don't find it, then we'll move on. Because here it is. I think this is it right here. Yeah. Okay. Soldier uses enemy RPG against him. Let me pop it up on here. This dude, it went around. It was kind of viral for a minute. It was it went around on TikTok a little bit. Right here. So they were like, here he is. He's found their RPG. They're over here like, oh man, this is some terrible quality. This is all they got. So he just decides he's going to walk up the ledge and freaking go fucking send it. So they're over there taking fire. Like shots are whizzing by him. This motherfucker's like, not today. Takes the RPG, walks the ridgeline by himself, and just YOLOs that thing right at him. They were like, dude, that dude's the damn guy. Look at him. Walks like, take that away from America. He's like, here you go, motherfucker.
That's an American?
Yeah.
And he just shoots an RPG.
Launched it right back at him. He used their own RPG, found it. Said, all right, motherfucker. And it was going along. It was viral for a while on social media because they're like, look at this dude.
Sometimes that's what you got to do, man.
Fucking like, you know what?
Sometimes that's what you got to do. And I'm hoping, and I know the heart of the military. I can promise you that, the guys that are at the airport, you got 6,000 American soldiers in that airport, and they're being taunted all day long by these people around the outside. They're being told who can come in and who can't come in. They have no control over the situation. They're going to get fed up eventually. And they're just going to say, you know what, man, let's go get these motherfucking Americans and let's go save some lives. Let's pile in a fucking deuce and a half and let's go get as many as we can. We know where they are. We know how to get to them. We can bring them back. We have the ability to do it, and we're going to. And they just have to. And I hope that they do. because and I don't think that they keep saying on Fox, the damage to America's reputation. Man, we're gonna have a new president in a couple of years. We have a president. We've had plenty of shitty presidents. President doesn't decide how the country. You act like an American because you decide to act like an American. We can do this on our own, man. I mean, I've been in a million situations where, the person that was in charge was a fucking dumbass. And what I've found in my life is usually the only person who wants to be in charge is a fucking dumbass. So if the person wants to be in charge, they're a fucking dumbass. They're not going to make good decisions. They're going to do the wrong thing. They have. There's nothing that any of these guys that have been in charge for the last 20 years have done that can justify the situation that we're in right now. Nothing. There's nothing that anybody can say why we're still there, and nobody can explain to me why this was done in such a shitty ass fucking manner. It was not difficult. If we wanted, the country was peacefully in control of a whole other government a week ago. A week ago.
That's not wrong.
We had an embassy there. People were rolling around. They were operating like a regular place.
Right.
And we, under those circumstances, should have. It's not difficult to tell the right thing to do. The problem is these guys have clouded judgment because they have to think about money and who's making money, how much money have we spent, how much money are we protecting, how much money are we defending, how much money are we going to get, how much money is this guy going to get, how much money is that guy going to get. They don't care about right or wrong. They don't give a flying fuck. They don't care. No matter when we pulled out. If you're a woman in Afghanistan right now, you're in deep shit. Deep shit the second we fucking leave.
Yeah, it's
and we know that making that decision.
It sucks to even think about that. Like, it's insane to even try to wrap your head around.
No, man. Look, but the thing is, people need to think about it. They don't need to avoid it. They're not talking about it in the regular news, but man, if you're a 12, 13-year-old fucking girl, you're right now trying to find a place to hide for the rest of your life. Because if no one's coming. Look, once we leave, no one's coming.
Right.
That's it. You think the Chinese are going to come in there and save the situation? You think they're going to solve it? You think the Russians are going to come in and make it better? You think the Iranians are going to come in and make it better? Fuck no. They're going to come in and make it worse. These people are going to try to bond with the Taliban. They're going to try to be friends with the Taliban. And that place is going to descend into all-out fucking chaos. All-out chaos. I don't know what the Afghanistan form of money is, but do you think that their form of money is going to be valuable after we leave?
No. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I think it'll probably just be a terrorist hotspot at that point.
I mean, it's going to be complete, all-out chaos in the worst, whatever country you can think of that has no form of government and is in complete chaos. That'll be it. And I don't think it's ever going to get fixed. If you know the history of all of that country, that is all easily predictable and should have been and has been told to these people that spent these billions of dollars. We put all those weapons, we put all those helicopters, we put all those guns, we put all that equipment, we put all those schools, we put all those hospitals in that place, knowing this, but they wanted to spend the money.
Yeah.
And not only did they want to spend the money, there's somebody out there that made the money. You can trace it. You can find out who made money. Who were the contractors that made money off of the buildings things that were built to go to Afghanistan? Those are the people that are responsible ultimately, because those are the people that we stayed there for. We didn't stay there for any other reason.
Right.
All right.
Wow. We'll see what happens. What do you want to move on to?
Oh man.
You got anything else? I mean, you've always got something.
How much personal information are you going to divulge to our adoring fan base?
I'm gonna divulge all of it because I'm gonna call out every motherfucker that's doing this to me, since they've made it public.
Go ahead.
For me, if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it.
I have nothing. It's not my thing to say. I know that you've run into a scrape.
Scrape.
You're in a tight scrape. And so if you wish to, I've been in many.
We only got 40 minutes,
in my
so
life.
we'll do something else, and we'll talk about this one when we have a little bit more time.
Fair enough.
'cause it's gonna take a
Let's do
minute.
some comments then. You said you had some comments that you wanted to bring out.
So maybe you can call some people out on some comments, and because it was kind of slow for a little bit, and then I saw some channel comments pop up. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to get rid of ones I responded to, and so one of them here was about your comment to, or your reaction to the "Am I the Only One" song by Aaron Lewis. So he says, "Come together, find common ground, compromise, and other similar tacks are all historically failed policies the GOP has been using to get permanently dragged politically left for the last 30 plus years. When political ground was never taken back, all the GOP became our Democrats for 10 plus years ago. Why would we have to come together or compromise? We don't, we shouldn't, we can't. Not if we want the delicate dream of America to make it out alive. The founding fathers didn't come together with the crown. The totalitarian left has no interest in or plans of compromise. Stop kidding yourself." That was I don't even know how I guess Vladi Renter. I don't know if I said that right. It's all one word, but it's an interesting comment to what you were saying. And at the end of the day, there's people out there that believe this, like that you cannot come together. There is no common ground. I find that a little bit disturbing, right? That you think there's no way, only because of your political ideology, and it's not even, most people's isn't even something that they've come up with on their own. Right.
No, I completely agree.
So
it's because the only reason you think that way, the only reason what all that is from is and I've, man, look, I can say this again and again, and I will. I've said it so many times throughout the course of my life. I can't even remember how many times I've made this exact same statement. But I'll just say that is a symptom of being completely brainwashed into a way of thinking that where your mind is being controlled by people who want you to believe that. They want you to believe that there's no way that we can come together. There is no, look, man, right and left, conservative and liberal, those are made up terms. That's not an existence of life. There is no scale of conservative, liberal. There is no scale of right and left. Those are all made up things that are designed to divide people and put you in a category and prevent you from getting along with somebody else. All these people that are in control of this country want you to do is be arguing with each other. That's it. They don't care about anything else. And do you know why? Because they are fucking you every single day as hard as humanly possible. And so they would like you to, instead of looking behind you and realizing that they are the ones that are fucking you, they are trying to fuck you in the ass and point at every single person they possibly can and say, that person is the reason you're getting fucked in the ass. That person is the reason you're getting fucked in the ass. Meanwhile, all you have to do is wake the fuck up and look behind you, and you will see who is actually fucking you in the ass. And that's a fact. Look, the government profits off of us hating each other. How many millions of dollars are spent trying to get somebody elected? Millions of dollars. On both sides. They spend
hundreds of millions
of dollars. In the case of a president, and now it's billions of dollars. And let's be completely fucking honest with ourselves and tell the truth. What fucking difference does it make who gets elected? What do they do after they get elected? Nothing. They've never done anything in my whole fucking life. They've never done anything. Let's be clear about what's happening right now in the country. We have a Democrat in charge. Has he solved the problem of COVID? No. We have a Democrat in charge. Has he solved the problem at the border? No. We have a Democrat in charge. Has he solved the problem with infrastructure? No. We have a Democrat in charge. Have we solved the problem of healthcare? No. After all of the things that we just went through with the previous president, and everyone's like, oh, man, 81 million people voted for this motherfucker. 81 million people went out and voted for Biden because they were so pissed that they were so sick of Trump, which is whatever.
Even to second that, never mind solving the problem. Have they brought forth any ideas?
No.
To even start to solve the problem?
Not one. Not one.
I can't think of any.
Nothing. Tell me anything that's been solved by the last 3 presidents. Tell me the last major solution of a problem that has come about as a result of our government. By the way, the vaccine, not good enough. You will now need a booster. The booster has been approved. The booster is coming. It is now fully accepted.
The booster has been approved, but they're also, I was reading an article here saying that he's trying to stop it from coming out. I mean, I'll see if I can find it. But
I don't know
today,
anything about it. Misinformation.
Right, yeah, we don't want to be misinformation, so this is all whatever.
Let's be careful.
But today, an absolute fact is that Pfizer did get FDA approval today.
Okay.
For people over the age of 16 years old. And because it's now FDA approved, the Pentagon is going to make it mandatory for every person in the Pentagon. And that is going to probably most likely trickle down into other government things. And so I think from what I've seen online, the consensus is people are happy and mad about it. But that's going to be everything that circumstances this entire situation. They're like, well, now people are going to lose their jobs because if you don't want to get the vaccine and it's required, you get fired. And the same token, other people are going to, haven't been able to work, and now they're going to get to go back to work if they get the shot. I think it's going to go both ways, but the crazy thing is how much it changes daily. And it's like we can talk about it, but tomorrow it's wrong.
Right.
And so the booster, I did see that thing. Booster. Let me see if I can find it. It popped up on Google News today, actually, and it was a certain person who was saying that he wanted to hold off on the boosters. It was one of the doctors. But at the end of the day, I mean, nobody knows. That's our problem. And so the COVID thing just stays in full force. I really hope, and honestly, where we're at right now is not that bad compared to places around the world. Other places are on extreme lockdown. Australia, insane. Like, you've no freedom over there.
No, I'm not even complaining.
So have you seen
I'm willing to deal with
the post on Facebook where they say when someone's going to a restaurant and they say, do you have your vaccination card? And they say no, and so what's required? And I said, okay, so for your server to come up there, you have to be fully vaccinated. And then they go, okay, well, can I see his vaccination card and also his negative AIDS test and his negative this? And I
have seen.
I need to see your full medical history before you serve me food. But it just goes both ways, and it's crazy and not crazy at the same time. It just depends on how you want to view it. It's perspective.
Like I said, man, all they want us to do is fight with each other.
Yeah.
I pray to God that somehow somebody, I'm going to try to be the guy. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to try to be the guy, not because I even want to be, but I would love to be the person that brings people beyond that mindset. Man, I saw a thing today. Well, of course, they were saying on Fox News, they were like, oh, you realize that most of the country is leans right. It is a right, center right country. And I'm like, man, what does that even mean? Why do you always have to throw that kind of bullshit around? I don't know. First of all, I think those terms are so made up. I don't even know anybody, and I probably think as liberal as anyone. I try my mind to be a free thinking person. And when I think about the world, I think about how we can improve it and make it better. What progress can we make in the world to make the world better than it is right now? I look at everything that we're doing and I think, man, this is not great. There's nothing about the way the world is right now that is great. What can we do that's better than what we currently are doing? Does that make me liberal? Does that make me conservative? I know a lot of people who want to see the world better. They say progressive, whatever you want to call it. But when you say the majority of the country is center right, that's supposed to provide comfort to the people who are conservatives to be like, oh, well, everyone thinks like me.
Yeah,
we're good. I saw a video of an experiment they did. I don't know if it was like in the 60s or 70s or whatever. They would bring a dude into a room full of actors, and they would say, this is a test to see if you can identify which of these lines is the longest line.
What do you mean by longest line?
They would have like 3 lines.
Just like a line.
Just 3 lines next to each other,
Okay.
and of clearly different lengths.
Okay.
And they would say, we want you to identify the longest line. And all of the actors would intentionally identify one of the lines that was shorter than the longest line.
Right.
The whole room. And the one person in the room each time didn't know. He was just, and again, these were not, it wasn't like there was a discrepancy. There was one line that was longer, and then,
right.
So, and they would start out, they'd be like, all right, what is the longest, the moderator would be like, we're here to identify the longest line. What is the longest line? He would point at somebody, and they would go, line A.
Like blatantly wrong.
Line A, not the longest. And then, and you could see the person kind of be like, the one guy that didn't know, he'd kind of be confused. He'd be like, oh man.
Right.
And then they'd be like, they'd point to the next person and they'd be like, line A. The guy was like, what the fuck? And so he started out the first one, the very first one, he was like, line B. But then the rest of the room all went with line A, and he felt like the biggest douche.
Right.
But he was obviously correct in what he was saying. So then they would do, all right, we're going to move to number 2. Number 2, they bring out the chart. They do the same thing. And then by the second round, the guy is going along with everybody else and going, line B. Knowing that what he's saying is not true, but not wanting to disrupt the rest of the people in the group. And I would tell you, there's nothing I've ever seen in my life that more accurately summarizes human behavior.
Well, it's fascinating. There's a guy in Europe. His name is Darren Brown. You can find him on YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel. He is a mentalist and a magician, but mostly a mentalist. And he has done several of these type of experiments. One of them was like he would bring in like a handful of people into a room, give them like a clipboard, like they're going to interview for something. And so everyone else in the room is in on it except this one person. So they're sitting down, there's a ding, and then people just stand up from their chair. And then it dings again and they sit down. No one's told you to do this. Right. No one's told you to do anything.
Right.
And they look, and so then they're like, okay, and then it dings and they stand up, so they stand up. And you're like, so people just want to be a part of it, right? They want to conform. Like no one said, hey, stand up and do this thing. And he's got a lot of them, and they are amazing at what people will do. And also what you can influence people to do. Right. And that is, if you watch what he's done, watch his videos, go home, figure out your freaking Fire Stick, go on YouTube and look up Darren Brown, and when you watch what he does to a small group of people and go, now what if they did that on a massive scale? What if they're doing that
they
right
are.
now?
What do you mean, what if? They are doing it. They're not even doing it as an experiment. They're treating us, they're doing that to us like we're lab rats in real life. I'm going to give you you said you like to hear a story. I'll give you way back in the day, before I was a comic, before I ever did stand-up. Me and a girlfriend of mine, we went to a stand-up comedy show. We sat in the very front row. I didn't want to, but we did. halfway through the headliner, I had to take a piss. I didn't want to take a piss. I had to take a piss. And this is an experiment like what you're talking about. So I get up and I go to the bathroom. And while I'm in the bathroom, the comedian tells the whole audience, I'm going to tell a joke that makes no sense.
Right.
And when I say the word station wagon, I want you all to laugh like it's the funniest thing you've ever heard in your entire life. And when this guy comes back, I'm going to start the joke and watch what he does. And they were expecting me. I didn't know any of this took place. I'm in the bathroom. I'm taking a piss. I'm like, oh, man, I'm glad he didn't say anything when I got up to walk out. I hope he doesn't say anything when I get back. But when I walked back into the room, I could tell everybody in that fucking room was staring at me. And I was like, what in the fuck? And my girlfriend was sitting there right now. And she was like, oh, God, oh, God. I could tell something was up.
Right.
I just knew. And so he gets to the joke and he goes through it and he's like, and that's when I got down and sat in my station wagon. And everybody in the whole place just busts out fucking laughing. And they're all staring right at me. And I didn't react because I didn't know what the fuck was happening.
Let me tell you something.
I had a feeling something weird, and I knew that I was supposed to be laughing along, but there was nothing funny said. I didn't really get it, and my girlfriend explained to me later on. So the guy just looks at me from the stage and he goes, don't worry, buddy. She'll explain it to you on the way home. But I didn't do what he wanted me to do, and I would never do that. And I've always fought that in my mind because of experiments like that. I've always gone into situations and said, I'm going to think right. I'm going to do right. I'm not going to go along with any group. I'm not going to participate. I'm going to do what I believe is right no matter what.
You want to see something crazy? I'm just going to pull this up on the screen for people if they want to look it up. This is his channel here, Darren Brown. This is like an hour and 33-minute long deal. He convinces people that the apocalypse is happening. A small group of people. He gets into hacks their cell phone, their TV, is interrupting what's on their television, and he basically takes over these people. They're on a bus. They think the apocalypse is happening. They wake up. Look, he gives them a little sleeping thing. They wake up in a bed. They don't know what year it is. Like, he tricks these people into believing that.
Are they signed up for an experiment, or are you just choosing these people at random?
No, they do. They sign up for a particular thing that gives him access to them, like a survey or a thing. Like, oh, you can participate in
so he's not just
thing.
doing this to.
No, but they don't know that this is what they signed up for.
Right. No, I get
signed
it.
up for something, but
right.
he's done so many that's like, dude, that dude could really do some damage. But there's got to be other people out there doing it.
I mean, yeah. Anytime you have power, you can look. People have powers of persuasion.
Yeah.
People have the gift of standing in front of a group of people and getting them to believe anything, go along with anything. That's what we do as comics. We go into a room and we want to find something that the entire room is going to universally find funny.
Right.
Seriously, there's comedians that have become presidents in other countries. And one of the reasons they're able to do it is because they go in front of the audience. I mean, look, let's be completely serious. That's what Trump did. Trump was doing nothing more than stand-up comedy. He was doing open mic night at every one of his rallies.
Yeah.
He went in there every night. He would pack the room. Now, first of all, I'm not giving him, he loves to get credit for, you're not selling tickets, bro. The places, you're booking the place yourself and you're packing it with people that don't have to pay.
Right.
So don't compare yourself to Elton John, whose tickets cost $300 a piece, because you're not selling anything out. I know they're waiting in line for you and they might pay. Maybe they would pay, but they're not paying. They get in free and they go to your show. But he was nothing more than an open micer. Look, all he does is go up there and tell jokes. The people just laugh their asses off. And his target is anybody he knows they don't like.
That's true.
Anybody he knows they don't like. And he makes fun of them. And they love it. And they love him for it. He's not conning these people. People are always like, "Oh, these Trump supporters, they don't understand." No, he's not conning them. They know exactly who he is.
Yeah.
They agree with him. They agree with the whole thing is, oh, he's so cruel. He was making fun of that handicap. They knew he was making fun of that handicapped person. There's not one single person that watched that video that was like, oh, he wasn't making fun of that He was. They think it's funny to make fun of a handicapped person. It's just like, look, I'll give you this example. It's just like people who complain about the relationship that they're in all the time. They're always complaining about their relationship. And the conclusion that you ultimately have to draw is you enjoy being in a miserable relationship. You are not in a miserable relationship by accident. You are in a miserable relationship because you seek out miserable relationships. You're not being conned by a person who is cruel to other people. You are cruel yourself. You enjoy being cruel. Look, we go in front of a crowd. We find common ground. We make them laugh. Anybody can do it. Well, I'll say this. There's a handful of people that can do it well. Trump could do it well. He was good at, he got the headline spot. You put his name on a poster, just like, a headliner in Atlanta.
Right.
Guys, so-and-so is coming to Kevin Hart. He's coming to Atlanta. Those people are not coming to Kevin Hart to pay their money to see Kevin Hart, to go in there and disagree with him. What they find funny about him is they agree with everything he says. That's what's funny about it. That's why people follow a certain ideology. When you have the power, like we were talking about this guy, Darren Brown, or whatever, he does these things. You were saying he could do some damage. He could do some damage. You have to make a decision. Are you gonna, when you realize that you have that power, when you have that ability,
what are you going to do with it?
Are you going to use it in a constructive way? He clearly has been given some type of a gift. Not everybody can walk in front of a room full of strangers and make them laugh. Not everybody can walk into a room full of strangers and make them all agree with each other. Trump is able to go in front of a large group of complete strangers. I'm assuming the majority. Well, I don't know. He's going to these small Alabama towns. Maybe they do all know each other. I don't know. I don't know that many people. I went to a Trump rally. I've been to a couple of Trump rallies. It's fucking insane. I will say it's absolutely insane. The level of anger that these people have towards the people he's discussing is insane. They hate liberals, hate them. And when they hate Nancy Pelosi,
well,
they hate Chuck Schumer, they hate Obama.
I mean,
and now they hate Biden. And now they hate Kamala Harris. I mean, I'm just saying, you have the ability. He could do really good things.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be that way. He doesn't have to create this anger and hostility and this hatred.
That's
These
why
people
I
are
think
going
his son would be better. You laugh, but look, if this is your choice, Junior would be better. Look, he still is open. He's still outspoken, but he's at least, he's going to have a filter to an extent. It's not going to be his dad. He's younger. He has more of a grasp on it. Look, I think Trump's old, and he's just like, fucking send it. What do I care? And Junior could be like, well, I could do this.
I think he's definitely running again.
Oh, he's going to run again.
Yeah.
They couldn't stop him, so why not? I mean, I listen, if Joe Biden's name somehow makes it on another ticket, then
I don't think it will.
Just end
I
all
don't think
of
it will. I don't think he's going to serve his full term. I don't think there's any way.
Well, they keep calling him out on, competency at this point. Like
You have to.
You do have to.
There's no way that you can watch and man, I'm rooting for the guy. Look, I'm an American. I am not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I say this all the time, and I am an American, and I root for America. And right now, America is in trouble. And if you're in any way pleased by what you see going on in Afghanistan, that's not American. That's not American to be rooting against what's going on. We need that situation to be fixed. and we need it to be fixed in the best way that it possibly can be. We need the best outcome that we can possibly have. Joe Biden's not going to get us there. Joe Biden is not even aware of what is happening over there. I don't know if it's because of what he's being told or because of what he's thinking on his own. But all you have to do is he gives one pathetic speech after another about the situation. And each time he gets up and talks, he makes it worse.
Yeah.
It really does. He's not improving anything. People are watching those. You listen to what he's saying. It's not even accurate to what you and I can see. Forget what's happening behind closed doors. I mean, I understand that anytime a president is talking, he's got secret information that he's aware of that we're not aware of. I get that. He's making statements that I can clearly see for myself. Al-Qaeda is not in Afghanistan. Yes, they are.
Like he's on TV.
Yes, they are. I can see them with my own eyes wearing our uniforms that they took, and they are there. And, you know, he's not. He's saying that people are not having a problem getting to the airport. Yes, they are. Yes, they are clearly having a problem getting to the airport. There are numerous Americans who are reaching out to Americans here. They are recording them saying, as they're pleading, I have no way to get to the airport. I've tried 6 times. I'm afraid I'm going to die. I'm afraid I'm going to get killed. Now, let me say this as think about this if you're an American. All right? You're an American. You're 500 miles from the airport. The Afghan people around you have decided, all right, we're going to do what we can to try to help you get to the airport. We got a horse and buggy. We're going to hook it up. We're going to take you there. We're going to go to some checkpoints along the way. You're an American. You have your passport. You're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Right.
You come up to the Taliban gate where they're checking your passport, and they rip it up. You state out and you go, I got an American passport.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's my passport. The Taliban goes, okay. What do you got now?
You got nothing. You're not leaving.
Who are you? You're nobody.
That's real.
That's not.
That's real.
That's not a possibility.
Imagine having someone tear up a piece of paper. That's the only way to prove who you are in the world.
Right.
Imagine the feeling that you would have at that moment.
What is stopping them? Let me tell you something.
Nothing stopping them.
If you think about this, think about what we have. If you think having a police encounter with an American trained in America with all the levels of accountability that American police have, they kill people. They kill people on a regular basis, sometimes justified, sometimes not justified. Do you really think that a fucking Taliban soldier, 20 years old, been called on his cell phone or whatever communication they're being used by the main Taliban guys, hey, set up a checkpoint at mile 148 of this goat path. Sit there and don't let anybody through. What level of accountability do you think that fucking guy has to anybody? Do you think his boss is going to be like, hey, I heard you. Is it true that you're tearing up passports? Now, you know that we're not supposed to tear up passports.
We're supposed to shoot them in the face. We don't care about their passport.
Brother, you ain't getting through.
You're not getting through.
You're not getting through. And let me tell you something. We better go get those motherfucking people. The Army Rangers, the Green Berets, the Navy SEALs. We got some badass motherfuckers on our side. And we give them some badass fucking equipment. And we need to send them out. And we need to tell them beforehand what we're going to do. There is nothing better. Like if you're in a fight with somebody, if I'm in a fight with somebody, I like to let them know what's about to happen. One of my favorite scenes ever is in a movie. This guy was like, I'm going to take my left foot and I'm going to hit you on the right side of your face. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
You know what my favorite one is? I mean, I just watched it last week on Justified. He goes in there. This guy Duffy, he's like the antagonist, whatever. He said, "Next time I see you, we're not going to have the conversation that we're not going to have." So he busts into his little trailer, or whatever, and there's another guy there that doesn't know Raylan, and he goes in there and he goes, "Raylan, I thought we weren't going to have this conversation." He just punches him, knocks him down. He goes, "We're going to have the conversation that I said we weren't going to have." And then he says something to him about what he's doing, and he takes his gun, pulls the bullet out, and tosses it on his chest and says, "Next one's coming faster," and walks out the trailer. And I was like, that's the most baller shit you could do to somebody. Just toss him the bullet. Next one's coming faster. Hey, man, look, it's going to be a certain point where I think that it's going to escalate and we're going to look stupid.
Well, here are the two options right now. Option one, which is what we're leaning towards, which is what I'm terrified is actually going to happen, is come August 31st, Biden's going to be like, okay, we got everybody we could get. It's time to leave. And just leave them there.
Right.
That's one thing that could potentially happen. And then we got a bunch of fucking Americans scattered all over Afghanistan that are in deep shit. The only other option, as I see it, is that the guys in the military take things into their own hands. And they say, I'm not today.
I don't know that that'll happen.
I think it's a possibility. I hope so.
I think it would take something pretty drastic over there.
Well, here's the thing. On a daily basis, the Afghanistan people are escalating their pushes.
Right.
Every day it gets yesterday a guy got into the airport and started firing a gun.
Right.
So they're already firing guns. They start firing guns, all bets are off. Because no matter who you are, all right, no matter who you are, with the American military, whoever, somebody starts shooting guns at you.
Well,
at that time, you've got to fucking start firing back.
Yeah, but our rules of engagement require them to fire first.
And my point is they're firing. Yeah. And if they start firing, we have no choice. You can see the guys are lying. They're in the prone position. There's no fence around that fucking parts of that airport. There's just guys lying in a prone position with a rifle aiming at the crowd. The only thing holding him back is the fact that this guy's got enough ammo in his gun to kill everybody before they can get to him.
Yeah.
I've seen it. So I know. I've seen the videos. There are guys lying on the ground. The crowd is in front of them. There's no barrier between him and the crowd. They are standing back because if they rush him, he can kill enough of them before they get to him. He can kill them all before they get to him. Or the guy next to you, they got guys every 5 yards.
Right.
Man, I'm telling you, that is not a lasting. And I just don't believe, knowing guys in the military the way that I do, I just don't believe that they will get on a plane and leave until they know everybody's picked up. I just don't believe it. Even if it's a small contingent of guys. In fact, I can already guarantee you they're talking about it. I guarantee you they're talking about it. They're saying to each other, man, let's get in a deuce and a half. Let's get in a Humvee. Let's get in a fucking truck. And let's go get these fucking people ourselves.
Right.
And fuck this motherfucker who's telling us we can't. I know they're saying it. I know. I can guarantee it as sure as I'm sitting here. Fuck, I want to do it. I'm not even over there. I would love to do it. Fuck it. I wouldn't mind. I won't give a shit fucking dying trying to go pick up some American teacher who was over there trying to teach the Afghan students how to read. Because you know that they had little ads in magazines all over the fucking place. They're like, would you like to teach English to Afghanistan? Would you like to teach people how to read? Would you like to work in a hospital?
Humanitarians.
Right. These people are over there. They're the kindest, nicest. They're literally willing to sacrifice their lives to try to make somebody else's life better on the other side of the world that nobody gives a shit about. Because nobody can. Look, 2 months ago, Nobody gave a fuck about Afghanistan.
Oh no, it wasn't even a blip on the radar.
Right. Nobody cared. All these people right now. And here's what's hilarious to me is these people that suddenly are welcoming the Afghani refugees. They're like, oh, they're going to send a bunch of them to Arkansas. Arkansas is like, yeah, we can't wait to have a bunch of, man, a month ago, y'all were build the wall, man, fucking, refugee is a refugee. There's refugees everywhere, man. Don't pretend like you give a fuck. The only reason you give a fuck about these refugees is because it makes Biden look bad. You don't give a fuck about these people. That's a fucking ultimate hypocrisy to me.
I like the memes that say, last week you were all medical experts. This week you're all military strategists. Yeah. What's next?
Right.
Everyone's
don't
an
worry.
expert.
Climate expert, pandemic expert, fucking healthcare expert, tax expert. They know everything.
Experts.
Everybody knows everything.
Immediately, as soon as something happens, social media everyone knows everything about it.
I mean, my thing is save people's lives, make the world better. There are good that we are fighting a battle in the world, good versus evil, period. But the people that get caught up in this liberal, conservative, right wing, left wing bullshit, you're being suckered, man. You're being suckered. They're taking your passion and they're using it against you because they don't want you to focus on what's really important. And what's really important is truth and lies and right and wrong. And I don't care who you are. If right now you're in Kabul and you're in the airport, right is going and saving the innocent people who are going to get murdered if you don't do it. That's right or wrong. That's not conservative. That's not liberal. That's not anything political. There's nothing political about that.
Right.
That is flat out human to go save people's lives who are going to die if you don't save them. And that's what if our military is not in place to save the lives of Americans, what the fuck is it doing? What is it for?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not, it's not designed to, it's not a money-making operation. It's not there. We're not there to build schools. We are there to save the lives of Americans. That is what the military is for. So go out there and save them. And I'm telling you, I believe this in my soul. As if I'm standing there in a group of them right now. The ones that are not in the prone position with a rifle aimed at the crowd, because they can't sit there, they have to do shifts. So you come off the shift, you're back in the back. There's guys back in the back. They're ready to fight too if they have to be, but they're getting some rest. And I guarantee you they're sitting around and they're saying to each other, man, let's go get these fucking people. We're here. There's 6,000 of us. We don't need fucking sleep. We don't need rest. Let's get it. We got the vehicles. We got the airplanes sitting here right here waiting for them. They've got no way to get there. They've got no way to get there. They are hunkered down wherever they are. And people know where they look. The locals know where they are. The locals know where the teacher is. The locals know where the nurse is. The locals know where the priest is. The locals know they know. You can pull into the town. If you're pulling in as an American truck in American uniform, right, you can ask the locals, hey, where's the teacher that teaches at this school? Oh, she's over there. She's over there. She lives over there. She's waiting for you guys. She's scared to death.
Yeah.
Where's the person that runs that hospital? Oh man, he's staying at my friend's house. They know where these people are. They can go get them.
Yep.
And they need to, because August 31st is going to come and all hell is going to break loose. All hell is going to break loose.
8 days away, man. 8 days away.
So, in the meantime, we're going to sit there, point fingers at, we can talk about Republicans and Democrats. Who gives a fuck? That's the dumbest fucking argument I've ever heard. Man, I can't believe how easily people have bought into that shit. You literally have looked at a line on a paper and you've argued against your own knowledge that the line is the longest one on the paper when you know it's not. Just so you can be part of that group. You're literally listening to bullshit every day, both sides,
Right.
Republicans and Democrats. You have got to believe lies to be one of those two groups. You've got to believe lies because they are feeding you lies. Democrats are feeding you lies. Republicans are feeding you lies. The media is feeding you lies. And if you are willing to be represented by one of those groups, then you are willing to believe those lies to be a part of that group. You are willing to look at a line that is longer than another line and say, no, it's not. I want to be liked by the group.
Right. That's a lot of people.
That's most people. And I'm asking you to wake the fuck up and open your goddamn eyes and recognize the truth and say the fucking truth. And fight for what's right and what's true and what's honest instead of what your Republican leaders tell you to fucking believe. Nancy Pelosi, whose city is covered in human shit, is trying to tell you how to live your life? Are you fucking out of your mind? Who the fuck decides to go along with that?
A lot of people.
Right. Why?
I don't know why.
Why?
I don't know.
What can we do to fucking make that change?
I don't know. I think if I walked outside every day and there was just people in tents all around me and it smelled like shit and there was just, I'd be like, look, this is, whatever you're doing is not working. We need to do something very different.
Well, just so you know, there's a large number of Americans that wake up every day and walk outside their house and see tents and smells like human shit. It's not just people that live where she is. It's all over the fucking country.
Right.
And there are whole cities in America that smell like urine, that just reek of urine. We can't even keep the fucking city of smelling like urine. And instead of being the people that prevent people from being able to take a piss somewhere, we're mad at the people that have nowhere to take a piss. And that's the whole fucking point. That's who they want you to be fucking mad at. They want you to be mad at the person who has nowhere to fucking piss. I watched people, when I was in New York City, I watched people take broad daylight in front of fucking everybody.
Yikes.
I walked down the street and would see people standing on the gutter, broad daylight, middle of the day, traffic driving by, people driving by, people taking a shit in the fucking street.
Wow.
I saw it with my own two fucking eyes. And you know what I thought to myself? Thank God that is not me. Because I was one step away from being that person. I was one step away from being so socially unacceptable as a human being that I could not walk into an establishment that had a place to take a shit and be able to take a shit. And in order to be able to take a shit somewhere in New York, you have to be able to buy something.
You got to be a patron of the business.
If you are not buying something, you do not have money to make a purchase. And there were several times where I would enter a business and I would go to the bathroom and ask if I could get the key or the code to the bathroom. And they would look me up and down and be like, sir, the bathroom is for customers only. And I would say, well, I need to go to the bathroom first. I don't want to take the food that I buy into the bathroom. So I'd like to use the bathroom, wash my hands, and then purchase my food, if that is okay. And I would literally have a standoff. It happened several times because all the bathrooms in New York, all the bathrooms are locked. Every business, every fast food business, every drugstore, everything. It's locked. You can't get in. There's nowhere to take a piss. There's nowhere to take a shit. And I don't know if it's like that in every major city, but you know how like if you're out and about in Georgia, we live in Georgia.
Right.
You're driving around. You need to take a piss. You can pull into Quick Trip. You can pull into McDonald's. You might buy something afterwards. If you need to take a piss or a shit, you're going to go in there and take a piss or a shit first, and then you might buy something afterwards.
Right, yeah.
No, not in New York, buddy. Not in New York. It's locked. The bathrooms are locked. All of them. everywhere.
Like, that's so crazy to me.
It's crazy to you, but people don't realize that that's how it is and it exists. So why is there piss and shit in the fucking street? Because there's nowhere that somebody without a dime to their name can take a piss or shit. And then the funny thing is there are people out there, there's people out there begging for money. And you walk by a guy and you're like, oh, here's $1. And then there's some people in their mind, they'll see the same guy 2 weeks later and they'll be like, now, how is that motherfucker still out here begging for money? Oh, well, you did give him a fucking $1. Holy fucking shit.
That's what it costs to go to the bathroom.
How come he didn't fucking take that $1 and change his whole goddamn life?
Man, look, he had to pee. He needed to buy some chips.
Right. I'm just saying, man, look, it's not, be grateful that, again, every time I saw somebody taking a shit in the gutter, I thought to myself that I'm one step away from being that person.
Yeah.
I am $5 in my pocket away from being that person. I slept at Port Authority easily 100 times in 3 years. Easily. And I got rousted by the cops every time. Hey, buddy.
Freaking nuts.
You can't sleep here. Oh, okay. So I can sit here with my eyes open, but I can't sit here with my fucking eyes closed. Is that what you're fucking telling me?
Yes.
I can sit here awake, but I can't sit here if I'm asleep.
That's
Is that
correct.
the fucking law? See, I didn't give a fuck. Most of the other guy, they'd be like, hey, man, calm down. Like, no, man, I don't give a fuck. I'm not fucking putting up with this shit. They'd be like, what's your name? My name's nobody, motherfucker. That's my fucking name. I remember I used to get roused at all of it. And then eventually they would walk by me.
Just like, they're like, listen,
That's how it works. That's a guy.
I don't get paid enough for this. The guy's got his eyes open. Put sunglasses on. I can't see him. I don't fucking know, man. He never blinks. That's how open his eyes are. Like for $9 an hour, that motherfucker is awake every day. In fact, it should be a crime how often he is awake. He does not sleep. It's a mental health crisis. Nobody does not sleep.
Oh, man.
Fuck.
Oh. All right. Well, what are we?
Shit. Yeah, you're about. This is it, man.
We're a
You're
minute
hitting that-
away.
a minute away. We're a minute away from having to wrap it up because you got to go to work.
I'll tell you what. I hope that people have been able to listen. Man, I want to see the world better. I don't like America to be in crisis, but I like it even less that I feel like there's people that are happy that we're in crisis. And put those labels aside. Put that conservative, put that liberal, Republican, Democrat, left wing, right wing, put all that aside and just, start thinking about truth. Truth and lies, right and wrong. What is the right thing to do? If you're in Afghanistan right now, the right thing to do is try to save people's lives. Do everything you can to save people's lives. I pray to God that you do. And we do got to go. I got to go serve people crab. I got to go
Crab
make
30.
sure. I got to go make sure people get plenty of crab. Some people are born free. Some people die free. Some people just live free as fuck. God bless you all. God bless America. Let's get through this. Thank you.
See you guys on the other side. Episode 24. Over and out.